We've seen some mile-and-a-half races during the summer meet here. We also see it during the Bing Crosby season at Del Mar. The 3 turns, where's usually the critical point in this race?
Yeah, so it's important to note that they do start on the back stretch, and as you say, a 3-turn race. I think you don't want to end up hung out wide around any of the turns, really. We're going a long way, and you want to make sure to be able to save some ground. A Rebels Romance from the inside post, I think he'll be forwardly placed today. I think based on that warm-up from redistricting, Flavian Pratt might have some speed tactics on his mind as well. But for horses like Mini Hawk and others, you just want to tuck in, get some cover, and as the race starts to really accelerate pace-wise when they turn for home the second time, that's when you want to make your move.
Pick 5 pool about to go past $2.5 million. 6 minutes away from the Longines Breeders' Cup turf. Here's Scott Hazelton.
Well, it is a treat to have the 19-time Irish National Hunt champion trainer in Willie Mullins, also a trainer who's trained well over 100 winners at Cheltenham here at the Breeders' Cup. How did this plan come together in bringing Ethical Diamond here to compete on this stage?
We had a choice of going down to Melbourne or coming here, and my owner already has a horse in Melbourne for the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday next. So we said we'd take a little diversion on the way over and come to California with this fellow.
How have you changed his routine or training to get him ready for the difference in racing here in the United States?
I didn't really change much. We just practiced. We bought a new bell for our starting stalls because every time I've had a few horses here before and they get a fright when the bell goes off. And that's really all we did. Otherwise, we're just going to stick to our own game plan. And I think the American type style of racing will suit him because, you know, they go very fast early and I need to get him settled early on, and that's plan A, and if that works then we have a good chance maybe of getting into some of the lower prize money. I don't think we're good enough to get into the first 3, but you never know. You know, there's big prize winners happening every day.
Great to have you here, Willie. Good luck.
Delighted to be here. Cheers. Bye.
Can I slip away to the window?
Long shot in this race, but not quite as big of a long shot as that one. This is what you need to do if you want to take advantage of the money back special in your FanDuel racing account. Head on over, make sure you've opted in. I'm going to try to beat all the favorites in here. I'm going to try to beat Goliath. I'm going to try to beat Rebels Romance. I'm going to try to beat Mini Hawk, who's a 3-year-old filly. Hey, a 3-year-old has won this race 2 out of the last 4 years. I'm going with the 3-year-old gelding. That is Amalok. He is one of 2 horses that actually raced at a longer distance last time out. You would think 1.5 miles is as far as you're going to go. No, he raced 1 3/4 miles last time out, and that was his only loss. So he's never lost at this distance or anything shorter. 10-1 right now on Amalok. That's my play for the money back special.
Here's Rafe Beckett, who has the 3. Amalok, who started his career perfect, a perfect 5 for 5, going into the St. Leger, suffered his first defeat, but that was his first run in 3 months. Was that by design?
To get beaten? No, but it was the first run in 3 months was on purpose. Yeah, he took a little while to get over Royal Ascot. That was a tough race that day for a horse who'd only run 4 times. You know, he left it all there. So the idea was to always go to the Irish St. Leger and then come here if it worked out.
How's he handling the parade ring so far?
Very well. I've been very happy with him all week, and he's looked better and better all week, and he's, you know, saddling went very well. So, yeah, we're in a good place.
Good luck to you and the team.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pick 5 pool now approaching $3 million, part of your wagering menu here in the Longines Breeders' Cup turf. Getting a good look at Amalok, also a very good look at the outstanding 3-year-old filly, Mini Hawk. Last pick 5 opportunity of the Breeders' Cup Championship meet. Christina, how would you approach this pick 5?
We'll take a look at the ticket. I've sent it in so many days ago when we did the handicapping show. I need to remind myself. Went light in here with the 2 class horses. Mini Hawk on your screen, the 8, and then my top selection is going to be Rebels Romance. If you wanted to include some others, you know, as Rebels Romance is the son of Dubawi. We do have other offspring of Dubawi in here, like the 7, who's a big 80-1. I think he is going to love this course. So if you're looking to add to it, you can certainly do that. We'll go 1, 5, and 8 in the next race in the Breeders' Cup Classic. That's Fierceness from the inside post, Forever Young, and then my top selection is Mind Frame. oftentimes I think we get a bigger result in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Those flying finishes, you have some prices in there, 2, 3, 7, and 11. Top pick for me will be Rhetorical, the 11 for Will Walden, who exits a win in the Turf Mile at Keeneland last time out. I will single Nisos in the Dirt Mile and then go deep in the Filly and Mare Turf if we get that far to close it out.
Now just 2 minutes away, the start of this final pick 5 and one of the most anticipated races of this championship Saturday, the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. Once again, Scott Hazelton.
Billy Koch, Little Red Feather, Gold Phoenix, once again shows up at the Breeders' Cup. 4 years in a row. Yeah. If I would have told you 4 years ago that this would be where you're at with this horse, what would you have said to me, Billy?
We must have been very lucky. No, we have got a great team behind this horse. Phil D'Amato and his whole staff. All our partners at Little Red Feather, they're so supportive of everything we do and giving this horse breaks and letting him come along as he needs to come along. And he's doing great right now. We just peaked at only 25-1. Like, that's an underlay. This is great. People are respecting him.
Well, you have to. I mean, you look at his record here at Del Mar. What is it about Del Mar that brings out his best?
You know, he's a surfer. No, he just loves it down there. I don't know. Some horses thrive. It's a very big horse for course type place. For those of you out there, you know, who gamble, and he loves it here. This is his home course, and if he gets a good trip, you know, he finished 4th last year. He finished 4th the year before, and if he can improve on that a little bit, he'll be right there.
Good luck, Billy.
Thank you, Scotty.
I mean, it is a remarkable record for him to have won the same race during the Del Mar Summer Meet for 4 consecutive times. It's a home course advantage, and he didn't run terrible last year.
He was 4th last year.
Yeah.
And I think it also speaks to, and we heard this from the interview with Willie Mullins, you know, the Breeders' Cup is the strongest global brand in racing. And even if you are going to be a long shot, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to compete and to come and bring a horse here. And Gold Phoenix has brought his connections here 4 years in a row, providing some thrills just to be a part of it. Rebels Romance is the race lens angle here. We all know how well Charlie Appleby does in the U.S. in Grade 1 races, and a huge part of that is just choosing the right types to bring here. Those horses that can be forward, those horses that will appreciate the faster ground. He's a 2-time winner of this race, proven over the course, and I like the inside post for Rebels Romance.
It has never happened in the storied history of the Breeders' Cup. A horse winning this race 3 times. The Longines Breeders' Cup Turf, and with a chance to do that is the one Rebels Romance, our second choice at 2-1, standing in his way. Yes, a field of competitors, but the favorite, Mini Hawk, the 3-year-old filly who was so gallant last time out in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Don't cheer too wildly first time by the finish line. They're coming back round again. It's the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. Larry Colmus with the call.
And the horses have reached the gate for the Breeders' Cup Turf. Rebels Romance and Gold Phoenix are the first 2 to move in. Here's Goliath and the filly Mini Hawk. Amalak and El Cordobés moving into line. Here's redistricting into the gate. Rebel Red and Rashabar. Wimbledon Hawkeye. Tawnyport moving in. Hill Road. Salawi second last. Got 13 of them in line here for the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf as Ethical Diamond is making his way up to the starting gate to complete the line here. Ethical Diamond just a tad reluctant to come forward, but he's done it now. They're all in line. We are ready for the start. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Turf. And it's Rashabar who goes out to the early lead. Salawi goes right with him. These two out to the front together. Mini Hawk is close. And now redistricting comes through with Rebels, Romance, and Goliath to the inside. Wimbledon Hawkeye takes back behind them, and Amalak is down toward the rail. 3 back to Rebel Red, El Cordo Base, and Tawny Port. Then Hill Road to the inside, Ethical Diamond, and Gold Phoenix is last of them all, and he's 15 lengths off of front-running Salawi, who went 23.22 for the first quarter. So going 1.5 miles, that's moving right along here. Salawi up top, the leader by 2.5. Rashabar, the closest pursuer, in second. 2-time turf winner Rebels Romance is a tucked in third on the inside. Farther out, Goliath is in fourth, and in between horses redistricting. Mini Hawk is outside, and then Amalak, who's down toward the rail. After that, Wimbledon Hawkeye, middle of the pack with 1 lap to go. Rebel Reds on the outside of Wimbledon Hawkeye. El Cordo Base is next. Then it's 2 lengths more back to Hill Road, who is just ahead of Ethical Diamond at Tawny Port. Gold Phoenix biding his time through a 47.53 half mile. Into the turn they go, Salawi. All the way so far. The leader by 1.5 lengths over Goliath. Rebels Romance is third on the inside. Mini Hawk outside in fourth. Rashabar fifth. Amalak is sixth toward the inside. 6 lengths off the lead, just ahead of Rebel Red redistricting and El Cordo Base. 1.5 lengths back to Wimbledon Hawkeye, and then Hill Road, Ethical Diamond, Tawny Port. The trailer Gold Phoenix. 111.99 for 3 quarters as Salawi heads up the backstretch in the Breeders' Cup Turf. The leader by 1.5 lengths over Goliath. Mini Hawk and Rebels Romance are side by side. Rebels Romance getting an inside trip. Mini Hawk's going 3 wide. Around the far turn, Salawi, Goliath, and Mini Hawk. Rebels Romance needs a place to go behind them. Rebel Red has circled up on the far outside. On the rail, it is Amalak, and then redistricting, and they're into the stretch, and the filly takes charge. It is Mini Hawk who comes off the turn in front. Rebels Romance comes to take her, and Ethical Diamond is charging down the middle of the turf course and goes by them all. Ethical Diamond has taken the lead, and at 25-1, Ethical Diamond wins the turf. And then it was Rebels Romance second. El Cordo Base was third, followed by Amalak and Gold Phoenix, and a final time of 2:25.45, a Del Mar course record.
A track record and an astonishing feat here by Ethical Diamond and the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. And how about during the interview when the trainer said we might be able to be third? This horse went from 50-1 down to 25-1. Rishi Prasad, how are you going to explain this to your friends back home?
I cannot believe what I've just seen. Ethical Diamond, a horse who's won over hurdles back home in Europe, who won the Ebor handicap last time out, has beaten some of the best 1.5-mile horses in the world. Mini Hawk takes the lead from Goliath, turning for home, and Ethical Diamond has swept round the outside as well. Clear sailing for Dylan Brown McMonagle, the new Irish champion jockey. What an incredible success this is. My goodness, Willie Mullins, I thought he was amazing. This guy can walk on water.
Why are you here to run this horse? I was going to run in the Melbourne Cup, but we have another one, so it's a layover. We just took the Breeders' Cup Turf.
Maybe Australia got lucky. But Simon, as a former trainer, can you put into terms for us the difference in the disciplines of being a horse that goes from the flats to the hurdles back and forth?
I mean, it's extremely rare to see, and especially at this level. You just do not see it. I mean, nobody attempts it. Steeplechase racing here is on the minority. We see some back east, but this is a major, major upset. No one could have figured that this horse could take down Rebels Romance, take down Mini Hawk. I mean, just what a performance. And the turn of foot
and
that he showed.
And give them all a head start as they turn for home. On top of that, all 3 of the top betting choices were in front of him.
Hurdles horses, steeplechase, you don't see them quicken like this. They just keep going. This horse exploded late.
Extraordinary performance. I'm telling you, I cannot believe what I've just seen. Can we rewind and play this over and over again? Because I cannot believe that Willie Mullins has just pulled this off.
This is what I love about sport in general, and you see it because you cover other sports throughout the year. It's always something different. You have never seen it all, And this is one of the most remarkable wins in the history of the Breeders' Cup. I mean, Simon, a lot of people point to our Kong 99-1 in the Breeders' Cup Classic. This is just as astonishing, even though this horse was 25-1.
Yeah, he was, but to your point, he was 50-1, and then he just got hammered late. I mean, you're talking about a horse that won a maiden hurdle at Punchestown in the middle of February. That really doesn't scream pathway to the Breeders' Cup turf. And he won the Ebor last time out. That's a handicap race, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a famous handicap race up at York, a staying race. And again, that wouldn't lead to a Breeders' Cup turf victory.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. When Mini Hawk won the Yorkshire Oaks at the same meeting that Ethical Diamond won.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was thinking, we've seen a potential ARC winner, horse that will go on maybe to the Breeders' Cup in Mini Hawk. And we thought Ethical Diamond might run in the Melbourne Cup and then go back to Cheltenham for the Cheltenham Festival over hurdles, maybe over fences. Who knows? That will be the future for Ethical